begin our journey to Mansarovar, here on the holy banks of Mother Ganga. Seeking her blessings, we embark on what is known as the most sacred, the most holy, and also the most challenging yatra, the yatra to Mount Kailash and Lake Mansarovar in Tibet, to the abode of Lord Shiva.
June 4th, 2006, we reached Kathmandu, Nepal for the beginning of the Divine Yatra to Lake Mansarovar and Mount Kailash.
Om Namah Shivaya. It is so divine to be here in Kathmandu and share these moments of pre-yatra with everybody and see the divinity in the eyes of each person and just this longing to go to the abode of Lord Shiva and see Lake Mansarovar.
I'm just open to any experience and I'm hoping that I will get a higher level of consciousness while traveling to these altitudes. And for us, I think mountains are not just mountains. That is why we call it a pilgrimage.
This is my second visit. Last year I'd gone and I enjoyed every moment of it. And there was something that makes me feel that I want to come back here again and again.
I had a very keen desire for quite some time to go and visit Mount Kailash, and this time hopefully it will materialize.
From Bodhnath, we travelled for the darshan of Pashupatinath Mandir. Pashupatinath temple is one of the holiest Hindu temples in the world and is also a World Heritage Site. It is the site of one of the 12 main Jyotirlingas. The Shivalingam is housed in the main temple, and there are other smaller temples dedicated to other divine manifestations.
My wife always wanted to go to Pashupatinath and we never got around to do it. So it was a great feeling for me.
It's a great temple, what we saw, the crowd, and so much emotions and love and a dedication to all the good cause.
An eye-opening experience, not only for people who are Hindu, but even non-Hindus, to experience a very physical and mental challenge.
One has to be ready. The moment has to be right when Bulava comes, and you have to be ready to accept the Bulava. So both have worked this time.
God is as much as at Kailash as it is here. But then, they are central places. Now in your body, the whole body, the soul is there, it's working. But there are central points in your body where you can meditate. The rupti is there, the heart is there, the navel is there. These are the center points. In the same way, Kailash is a central point where realization can take place in minutes. Here it will take hours.
The rain was an auspicious showering of blessings as we embarked upon our sacred journey.
Yeah, just we had a landslide, that's all. So we just have to clear some rocks. Be on our way again.
I was just saying it's cooled off a little bit, but Shivji is definitely giving us some challenges, making sure that we dig deep down.
Big thick piece of wire under the axle and attach it to the bulldozer so that they can pull this truck back out. The wire just broke when they tried to pull right then. Otherwise what we've been doing is digging out the road here and trying to get cars passing through. So at least some traffic is moving while we work on the big truck.
We expected all this to happen, and we have no regrets about this.
The first leg of which would take us from Kathmandu to Jhangmo at the border of Nepal and Tibet. The journey winds through the Himalayan mountains, through lush scenery, and finally arrives at the Friendship Bridge, the footbridge separating Nepal from Tibet.
Today is the first time that we've woken up in Tibet, and I must say that the views from the hotel room were very, very nice, very, very spectacular. This whole region of Tibet has a profound religious significance, both from the point of view of the Hindu tradition and also from the point of view of the Buddhist tradition. One has heard so much about Tibet, about the land of the third eye, about the land of the lost horizon, and
things were pretty easy in terms of getting visas and whatnot. It was pretty easy and relaxed, and coming into China, into Tibet, was much more difficult.
We had some minor hiccups like the rain and all that, but everybody was in very good spirits. There was what you call bhajans all the way, and everybody was feeling very energized, even with all the small hiccups like the landslides and the roadblocks and the delays in the immigration. Everybody overlooked all that. Everybody was all focused on the yatra and going to Mount Kailash. And today we are already here in Jhangmo, in Tibet.
We embarked early for our drive from Jhangmo to Lake Pigusto. As the hours passed, the altitude became higher and higher, and the landscape became more and more arid. Our first day in the divine land of Tibet brought us to the ancient sacred cave in which Tantric master Milarepa used to meditate.
The Bauddha Dharma came from India into Tibet. The first saint, the Buddhist monk, name was Padma Sambhava. This Kangyu Sampradaya was founded by monk Padma Sambhava. Foundation of Buddhism in Tibetan culture started in the entire range of plateau of Tibet. After him, Tilopa, Naropa and Marpa. These three were the greatest saints. Basically, Buddhism is not a believer of Tantric tradition. They don't believe in Tantric tradition. Buddha himself did not. But it happened, maybe it came from India, the impact of Shakyas and the Shaivas during that time was very powerful.
As you sit in this cave where the enlightened masters performed their meditation, their sadhana. Allow yourself to truly absorb the sacred, divine energy which still fills the air.
The landscape is divinely conducive to meditation. As the mountains melt only into more mountains, the road leads to nowhere, and the mind becomes naturally still and focused only on God. After a long day of driving through the barren landscape, the eyes behold a beautiful, glistening lake, Lake Pigutso. At a height of 3,300 meters, Lake Pigutso sits in the lap of perpetually snow-covered mountains. As we camped there on the edge of the lake, in tents in the biting wind, we knew our yatra had
यहाँ से अवलोकन करते हैं प्रातः काल के उदित होते हुए सूर्य की प्रथम रश्मियों को, तो यह बोध होने लगता है निश्चित रूप से जिस तरह से ये सूर्य की प्रथम किरणें हिमालय को देदीप्यमान कर रही हैं, प्रकाशमान कर रही हैं, उसी तरह से हमारा जीवन सततः प्रकाशमान और सात्विकता से और से विचार, भावनाएं और कर्मों से परिपूर्ण हो, इसका दिग्दर्शन कराता है यह हिमालय का उगता हुआ यह सूर्य।
As a Kundalini yogi, what do I think about the Himalayas? I feel like I've come home over and over and over again. When we were in Milarepa's cave yesterday, it was like, oh, I've been here.
The mountains tower overhead. The lake glistens and sparkles in the morning sunlight. The frigid cold of the night dissipates into the light of day. It is a perfect time for meditation. We departed early from Lake Pigutso for Saga, a drive of a few hours. As we crossed the Brahmaputra river, just on the outskirts of Saga, we stopped for prayer, archana and meditation on the banks of the holy Brahmaputra.
We are here on the banks of Brahmaputra. The winds are very, very chilly and it's very cold. And yet there's a great warmth. There's the warmth of the prayer that you just had. There's the warmth of so many people around us. There's the warmth, there's the feeling that so many of us are together.
It is difficult for breathing and all, but you have to take little medicine and try to keep carry on.
Just you can feel a little bit of the breathlessness, the headache, but it's okay.
First of all, you must drink a lot of fluids, and you must keep on having deep breaths, That's the main things. Eat less. Those are the main precautions. And when you go higher altitude, you should go slowly. If you rush up very fast, you're going to be in trouble.
I feel that God will take me to the Mansarovar Kailash, and I think everything should be all right.
I feel better. I think Vishwa Swamiji's blessings. Absolute top of the world.
We are very happy.
Slowly our bodies adjusted to the altitude and our minds adjusted to the stillness. We drove from Saga to Paryang, the last stop before our arrival at Lake Mansarovar.
It's a very good experience. कभी लगा कि वापस चले जाए, कभी लगा बहुत ठंडी है, कभी लगा हम नहीं पहुंच सकेंगे, पर एक दूसरे को देख देख के, एक दूसरे की हिम्मत देख के इधर तक पहुंच गए.
From the very beginning, from when I was young, I was always thinking, oh, what is Kailash, Shankar Bhagavan? I want to go one day and I will see that.
I believe that if you transverse around the mountain and also the lake, they say that you can actually erase karmas. Now, I don't think that anyone who goes up there and walks around the mountain can erase karmas. I think you have to have the right intention.
On June 10th, there was a pervasive feeling of anticipation amongst all the pilgrims. As we patiently awaited the divine gift of darshan of Lake Mansarovar and Mount Kailash, the goal of our divine yatra.
Amazing experience. This beautiful Himalayas are just amazing, and it's nothing compared to what snow-covered mountains I have seen in any of the other mountains I have seen in America.
I always knew about Mansarovar and Kailash, and we have come to a point in our life where our children are raised, so we do a lot of outdoor activities, and we feel like we want to challenge ourselves. So I think it's pilgrimage and a nature lover, or just challenge myself that I could do certain things.
That's why they say Kailash is the last journey in the lifetime. You have to do it to meet your God, and that's the way in the life I want to do it, and I hope I can do it.
जो रास्ता अभी तक तय किया मेरे लिए बहुत ही सुंदर और सुखद था. अलग-अलग समय से अलग-अलग परिस्थितियों से निकलना. Very excited to see Mansarovar and to visit Kailash as early as possible.
We drove through the sun-stroked landscape, stopping for lunch by a rushing stream. Our attitude and our gratitude rose steadily along with the altitude, as we knew that this day was due only to the grace of God.
This place is just awesome. It's really nice. It's really calm. It's beautiful. I mean, it's an incredible place. It's very unique. I mean, there's not a lot of trees you can see as far as like 20 miles you can see. So I think it's great.
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है ना, न्यू एक्सपीरियंस है. नहीं, मुझे तो पता नहीं, मेरा न्यू एक्सपीरियंस.
इतना सुंदर आकाश इतने साल हो गए हिंदुस्तान में रहते हुए कभी नहीं देखा.
And now we are almost on the last lap, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I consider myself very lucky to be on this expedition and pilgrimage.
I feel totally honored to be going to Mansarovar on my birthday today. Many saints and sages say that even to get a glimpse of the lake, they are honored. So hopefully with a glimpse tonight, I feel blessed beyond words, and I hope that all of you viewing this get a chance to perform this yatra too.
No words were needed. No announcement was made or instructions given. The cars seemed to stop of their own accord as we fell to our knees at the sight of Mount Kailash, the abode of Lord Shiva.
Got the drishti of Mansarovar and the drishti of Kailash, so I'm feeling very, very good. We've reached our destination, which is great.
It's one of the best things we've done in life, to come on the yatra. Nothing comes easy. We've had a few tough days, but now everything is just moving perfectly well.
Feeling, you can't describe this feeling. With Kailash, with Mansarovar, this is our yatra. This is amazing.
This is the first time I'm doing darshan of Kailash. It's amazing. I don't think I have words to express what I feel right now, seeing Mount Kailash from here, and I can't wait to come closer.
As we turned our heads, our eyes were filled by the vast lake, stretching out to the horizon, the answer to our prayers.
मैं तो ये चाहती हूँ कि यहाँ से वापस ही ना जाऊँ.
We drove the final kilometers to arrive on the banks of Lake Mansarovar at the Paramarth Mansarovar Ashram. Silence filled the air. Tears filled our eyes. Joy filled our hearts. Who could have imagined having this divine darshan? What better way to express our devotion than to perform the Aarti of Lake Mansarovar?
आज हम लोग यहाँ से अष्टपथ जा रहे हैं। अष्टपथ में हमको वो सागा दावा फेस्टिवल की दर्शन मिलेगा। ये सागा दावा फेस्टिवल हर साल आता है। तिब्बतन लोगों के लिए उनकी सबसे जरूरी फेस्टिवल है। We have arrived now at the sacred land of Astapat, or Tarboche, to witness the annual Saga Dawa festival of the Tibetan people. This is one of their holiest festivals during the entire year. They come together to this holy land, under the shadow, in the lap of sacred, holy Mount Kailash, to hoist their flags of prayer, of peace, and of love. Written on the flags are prayers for themselves, for their families, as well as for their communities and for world peace. Flags come in several different colors, symbolizing different aspects. The red symbolizes fire. The yellow symbolizes the earth. The blue is the sky. White is for clouds. And green is for water. So, just like the Hindu tradition, we also have these 5 sacred elements that have come together in their prayer ceremony. We've been very blessed to be here to witness the love and the devotion and the piety with which these Tibetans have come, thousands of them, from all over Tibet, to hoist their flags on this auspicious day, this full moon day, at the feet of Mount Kailash. We are waiting now for a dance by Srimati Sonal Mansingji. In just a few moments she will be coming. She will dance for us all, right here in front of the sacred flags at the feet of Mount Kailash. A dance dedicated to Lord Shiva.
सोचा नहीं था कभी के जीवन में कि परम आनंद के क्षण आएंगे। उनका अनुग्रह जब तक बना रहे मैं जीवित रहूंगी। अब मुझे कोई खिलना नहीं और कुछ मुझे नहीं चाहिए, सब मिल गया।
It was a day filled with joy, with darshan, with sharing and with prayer. we journeyed back to our ashram, truly blissful. On the following day, we performed the parikrama of Lake Mansarovar by car. Stopping along the way for darshan of the stupas, and finally in a special, beautiful location for a bath, prayer and puja. A bath in the glistening, frigid waters of Lake Mansarovar, under the darshan of Mount Kailash, in the presence of the revered saints, none of us could have imagined a greater gift. Following the bath, we performed sacred Shiv Abhishek Puja, as well as puja for the departed ancestors, and a special puja for world peace and harmony.
मन के भीतर मन की ही बदौलत रंज भी है, मन की ही बदौलत राहत भी, ये दुनिया जिसको कहते हैं ये दोजख भी और जन्नत भी। मन एव मनुष्याणाम कारणम बंध मोक्षयो, मन ही हमारे बंधन और मोक्ष का कारण है। इसलिए मानसरोवर की परिक्रमा, इसलिए अपने भीतर की परिक्रमा करनी है, अपने भीतर को समझना है। जिसने अपने मानस की परिक्रमा कर ली, जिसने अपने मानस की परिक्रमा का अर्थ है कि मानस को वश में कर लेना। यही कारण है कि मानस को वश में जिसने कर लिया उसने कैलाश को पा लिया।
दर्शन से, स्पर्शन से, मज्जन से और पान से सारे के सारे पाप नष्ट हो जाते हैं। शिव पुराण में तो यहां तक कहा गया है कि एक व्यक्ति जो यहां कर स्नान कर लेता है उसकी 21 पीढ़ी पहली और 21 भावी पीढ़ी तर जाती।
June 13th marked the day we began our parikrama of Mount Kailash. Preparations had all been made the day before, leaving us free to anticipate the rigorousness and fulfillment inherent in such an undertaking. The parikrama begins at Ashtapad and finishes at Darchen, covering a total distance of approximately 52 kilometers and traversing a peak of 5,650 meters at Dolama Pass.
Vande Bhakta Janashrayam Chavaladam Vande Shivam Shankaram.
Prior to embarking on the parikrama, we performed a special Shiv Abhishek Puja at Ashtapad under the divine darshan of Kailash.
परम रम्य गिरिवर कैलाशु सदा जहां शिव उमा निवासु। परम रम्य हमारा जीवन बन जाए, और जीवन तभी रम्य बनता है, जीवन तभी सुंदर बनता है जब वो जीवन में हमारे निवास करता है। या तो दीवाना हंसे या तो जिसे तौफीक दे, वरना इस दुनिया में मुस्करा सकता है कौन। इस नज़्मे गुलिस्ता में महफूज वही गुल है जिस गुल की रसाई है गुलशन निगहबान के तक। ये हमारे जीवन के गुलशन का माली है।
We will be embarking for the sacred journey of the Kailash Parikrama, a journey that is a total of 52 kilometers. Today, we will complete the first part of the journey, from here to Dirupuk, a journey of approximately 20 kilometers.
कोई सा कैसा भी पाप, यानी कहानी च पापानी, कैसा भी हो, कभी भी किया हो, जन्मांतर कतानी च, जन जन्मांतर में हमने किए हो, तानि सर्वाणि विनश्यन्ति, वो सारे के सारे पाप क्षय हो जाते हैं जैसे एक एक कदम आगे बढ़ा।
We walked in silence, chanting our mantras internally, or just allowing our consciousness to merge with the universal consciousness, allowing our breath to become one with the air that flows off the peak of Lord Shiva's abode, joining us inextricably to God, to each other, and to our deep inner selves. It is said that the circumambulation of the mountain frees one from lifetimes of karmic bonds. Pujya Swamiji explained that our true parikrama, true yatra, and the one that will truly free us is not only the external one, but the internal one. The journey is not merely about traveling to Lord Shiva with our feet, but traveling to God with our hearts, our minds, and our souls, ultimately becoming one, immersed in His divine presence.
Kimadharu तर्कोऽयं कांश्चिन् मुखरयति मोहाय जगतः अजन्मानो लोकाः किमवयववन्तोऽपि जगता मधिष्ठातारं किं भवविधिरनाकृत्य
Derapuk is the place from where the darshan of Kailash is the clearest, closest and most divine.
This is the Lake Mansarovar. That's one of the highest Himalayan lakes in the Himalayas. It's a very sacred lake to various world religions. And this row of wire and prayer flags here was all underwater when we were here 3 years ago. So this is an example of if these lakes that are this high are being fed by glaciers mostly. They're seasonally they go up and down with the rains and the snow, but their main source of water to sustain their levels is glaciers. And so these glaciers on these mountains around are melting off also, so there's not as much water the next year to feed the lake. And as you can see, it's over 300 feet out to where the lake is now versus where it was 3 years ago.
बहुत अच्छे दर्शन हुए मुझे कैलाश के और मानसरोवर जी के मैंने स्नान किया पूजा की और ये मेरा ड्रीम था कि मुझे कैलाश मानसरोवर ज़िंदगी में जाना था एक बार तो मैं आकर यहाँ से जा रही हूँ बड़ी बहुत खुशी मुझे हो रही है
ऋषि मुनियों से सुना है कैलाश पर्वत का मानसरोवर का इस जगह का इसमें इतनी शांति है आनंद है पीस है क्वाइटनेस है वो सब देखने का बड़ा मन था और वो हमें मिला भी
Lots of people come here as a nature lover, but I think when they leave here, they go back as a pilgrim. I think they find the spirituality of this place. When people come here and they do Kailash darshan, you can't help but feel the spirituality here.
Nature is made by God, so it's also taking part of God and maybe finding God in the nature.
मन्त्रपुष्पाञ्जलिं समर्पयामि नमस्करोमि